This is why I got an attitude about the story. Because somebody else's moment was hijacked. When you woke up in the morning, when all of us woke up in the morning, the story was not how great Versus was. The story was not, ooh, that was a Versus for the history books. The story was not, ooh, Versus was so good. The story is Tamar Braxton, Cash Money No Limit Versus. That, I think they did a disservice to the whole thing. Hijacked somebody else's, and I'm not implying that it was intentional. Somebody else's moment was hijacked. The next morning, none of the stories related to Versus should have had anything to do with the Tamar Braxton. First thing.
So what is it about Birdman that has everybody losing their minds? Kamora Lee has her girls calling him Uncle Birdman. Keisha Cole ended up throwing blows with another woman because of him. And now Toni and Tamar are arguing over who was with him first. There's been non-stop chaos between the sisters, with everyone dragging Tamar for messing around with Birdman. So imagine my shock when I learned it was actually Toni who did that to Tamar before she ever did it back. Wild. And DaBrat really isn't about to let anyone label her friend a homewrecker this time. She just dropped receipts proving that Tamar didn't take Toni's man. In fact, it's actually the opposite. Tamar was with Birdman first before Toni ever entered the situation, and Tamar still tried to stay supportive. But is DaBrat telling the truth? Or is this all just another pile of nonsense? Y'all remember how folks were dragging Tamar for being all over Birdman, rubbing his head and acting like she was his wife while Toni, the supposed real wife, was at home.
Tamar, girl, why are you wiping the sweat off of Birdman's head like that, sis? Now, as a married woman, I think I can grab the mic real quick and speak on this, because even though it may, like, she may be innocently doing it, girl, no, you don't do that. Like, the man's been performing on stage all this time, and he don't need you wiping the sweat off his head. Now, I'm hoping it was just like a gesture, but girl, y'all are all performers. Like, don't do that.
She was moving around in the background like Birdman was her actual husband. Chilly. At one point, she was even dabbing the sweat off his forehead with a smile, like he belonged to her too. Folks definitely thought it was off and started calling her out for it. But of course, Tamar tried to justify it, saying she was only there to support her sister. She even shared a clip of her and Birdman on a video call with Toni to prove there was nothing shady going on. But best believe people were not buying what Tamar was selling. Because being supportive is one thing, and the way she was glued to Birdman was a whole different story. They were practically seconds away from throwing hands when Tanda exposed Tamar for sneaking around with Birdman behind Toni's back. It all kicked off after Tamar got slick and tried to embarrass Tanda by saying she knew exactly where she lived because she's the one who helped cover the down payment on her house.
Do I know where you live?
Well, of course you don't come. So exactly. My thing, I know where you live because I put down your down payment.
Beautiful.
And you've been stealing from me for the past couple years of my credit.
But she didn't quit there. Tamar went further, claiming Tawanda had been secretly using her credit cards for years without asking. And honestly, that doesn't come as much of a surprise, since Tawanda has a reputation for taking other people's stuff. Chilly. Remember all those claims about Tawanda swiping their mom's social security checks and allegedly taking money from Toni too?
Tawanda, baby, I love her to pieces. But hide your stuff when she come over, because she snatched the wig off your head when you look the other way. She's super sneaky, clever, and crafty.
Interestingly, Tawanda's bankruptcy papers show she's carrying debts totaling as much as $500,000. They specifically reference a $35,000 loan from Tamar that went toward her house's down payment. So it seems Tamar's accusations aren't completely baseless. There's also a recurring pattern of Tawanda supposedly taking advantage of her sister's resources and acting like there'd be no consequences.
You know exactly what you're doing. Don't be looking like that, you snake-ass son of a gun. Okay. You're a snake, and you like controversy, and you like all of that. Okay. So why would you do that?
But y'all, Tawanda wasn't about to let Tamar get away with it. Oh no, she called out Tamar for sneaking around with her sister's man.
And you've been stealing from for me for the past couple years on my credit cards and help
But
me.
what you steal?
I don't steal anything.
You don't? You sold men.
Who's the man that I stole?
Tony's. You slept with them.
Oh, stop.
A few times.
What man?
Do not get the link.
Oh, bitch. You know down there, bitch.
Oh, you're such a liar. Such a liar.
Judging by how Tamar completely flipped out, it was clear she didn't see this coming at all. But the one who looked truly stunned by the whole situation was Toni Braxton.
Toni Braxton?
Toni Braxton, I got
Toni
you.
Braxton. No, Toni Braxton ain't never had your back.
I got Toni Braxton.
I want to be, cause I want it on
No,
record.
I wanna be-
I want it on national
No,
television. You want to
no.
say I don't have your back?
You didn't
Oh,
have my back
Lord
when it
Jesus.
came to your
Tawanda had been holding onto this info for who knows how long. And you just know she kept it close so she could drop it on Tamar at the perfect moment. Chilly from Trina's reaction, it seemed like she already knew the whole story, which was honestly kind of bizarre. How do you keep something like that from your sister when one of your siblings is messing around with another sister's man and it wasn't even just one man? According to Tawanda, Tamar was involved with 2 of Tony's men. I swear, at this point, the Braxton sisters seemed to despise each other the moment Tawanda claimed that Tamar was sneaking around with Tony's man. The internet went into full investigation mode to figure out who they were. Tamar was allegedly not just linked to Birdman, but also to Carrie Lewis from Mint Condition. This rumor traces all the way back to 2011, when a blogger said Tamar was hanging with Tony's ex-husband out of desperation to level up and get into the inner circle. To make things even messier, the post claimed it wasn't just one-sided. It suggested that Tony had been involved with Vince first before basically letting him move over to Tamar. Now, let's not pretend this is shocking. Tamar's no stranger to being called out for getting involved with a married man. She faced serious backlash over the whole situation with Michael Malden, Jermaine Dree's father. So when you piece it all together, it doesn't seem too far-fetched that she might have crossed the line with her sister's ex, especially if she thought it could boost her career. And then she got tangled up with Birdman, considering how well they knew each other. I mean, why didn't we see Tawanda and Trina acting all excited around him at the versus battle? Isn't he technically their brother-in-law too? But even with all the trouble Tamar has had with her siblings, according to DaBrat, this wasn't one of those times where they were in the right about her.
The Brat and Tamar worked on This Nation. They became close, they became friends, whatever. So if you know, the Braxtons came out last week and Tawanda stated that Tamar slept with Tony's ex, yada yada yada. There was a versus last weekend. Tamar was on stage with Birdman, wiping off his sweat, stopping him from drinking, getting drunk, whatever. Now it's going around that Tamar and Birdman dated back in 2003, and now we know that Tony and Birdman are married.
DaBrat basically confirmed that Tamar and Birdman were involved around 2003, and the funny part, this was before Tony had set her up with Vince. According to DaBrat, Tony's connection with Birdman happened much later. So, the Brat says, it doesn't make sense for people to be calling out Tamar. Even though her sister ended up marrying her ex, Tamar has always been supportive. This isn't the first time she's shown love for her sister and Birdman. Y'all remember when she and her son dressed up as Tony and Birdman for Halloween? That's just the kind of thing Tamar does. And DaBrat isn't having anyone try to make it seem like Tamar was out of line. The whole scenario is such a mess. Naturally, the internet, as always, has something to say about it. A lot of these celebrity men are a pass. They like to pretend it's women, but these men are out here thinking they're players while getting played. Tamar just kept that money flowing for the Braxton household because nobody was trying to talk about it. But if it was the other way around, they would have dragged Tamar for filth. Tony's gonna get a pass from those sisters, child. Yes. And thank you for posting before all these blogs existed. There was one called The Panty Report. They reported years ago that Tamar and Birdman were a thing, but he got tired of her and her sense of entitlement. That's when she got with Vince sometime after. But what are your thoughts on all this? Drop your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.